Okay. We're learning now over here, will there be goyim when Mashiach comes? Will there be Umois Ha'olam? We brought the two Pirushim on the Pasuk. V'karkar kol b'nei sheis doesn't mean that he's going to rule over the whole world or he's going to destroy the whole world. According to the opinion that he's going to destroy the whole world, how could he say he's going to destroy the whole world? If there's prophecies that clearly say there will be Gentiles, there will be other nations besides for the Jewish people, they're going to serve us, etc., etc. Also, the Gemara that says 2/3 of the world will be erased. How could you say 2/3 of the Gemara are going to be erased? Especially that God is merciful. So we mentioned maybe Hashem is going to take away the ability from them to produce, to make more people, to have children, and that is not in any way that isn't in any way an idea of opposite of a racham of akol masov, because that they even have a ability to give birth to begin with is a present. So if you don't give a person a present, it doesn't mean that you're not merciful. So, but the question still stays: if the whole world is going to be serving God, okay, the whole world is going to be serving Hashem, why should God make that they should stop to exist? Why should Hashem stop their existence? If everyone is serving God, why should people that serving God shouldn't continue to serve God and continue calling out in God's name? So the Rebbe explains that when Mashiach comes, the whole world is going to be serving Hashem. Hashem is going to be won over the whole world. Now, everything in the world was created for the Jewish people. The whole world was created for the Jewish people. So too the redemption. The main idea of the redemption is obviously for the Jewish people. That the Jewish people will be redeemed. That we will return to Eretz Yisrael. That Hashem will reveal himself to us. And this, that the Goyim will also have a part of the redemption that is only a secondary thing. That is only a outcome from the Jewish people's redemption. But this itself, that the non-Jews will have also have a part in the redemption, this itself can be explained in two ways. Will their redemption be in a way that they will have their own portion from the Jewish people's redemption? You're going to invite them to the meal, to the Jewish meal, and give them their own portion, or they're only going to get leftovers from the revelation of God to the Jewish people in the redemption. And the Rebbe explains this. So it has Barnabas. So we're up to page Kuf Yud Zayin on the top. Just 1 second. Has Barnabas. Here, page Kuf Yud Zayin. Here on the top. Has Barnabas on the top of page Kuf Yud Zayin. According to the first way of explaining it, of the redemption, that they feel that their whole redemption is only a detail of the Jewish people's redemption. They're just getting the leftovers from the Jewish people redemption. In Yoni Shal Moshiach v'Shalakili de La'asi Duraka B'Shvili Yisrael, the whole concept and idea of Messiah, of the Messianic era, and the revelation of God that's going to be in the Messianic era is only for the Jewish people. The whole redemption is for the Jews, that Jews shall learn Torah and fulfill God's commandments in the most complete and perfect way. So therefore, it's not enough that the Jewish people won't have any nations of the world oppressing them. No one will bother us. That's not enough. The whole world on its own, it's not that no one's bothering me, but there's a whole bunch of not good things happening outside of my territory. No, you need that the whole world should be good. That the whole world won't steal, they won't vandalize. A clean, clarified, a clean world. And when the world is in such a form, it is a set place for the Yidden to serve Hashem. Over Shleimus Bazeh, Shagam Ha'umis, Messiah Yisrael, B'Kol Zeh, and Eskilel Sivavav. And the most complete way that the whole world is serving Hashem, and not only that the whole world is helping the Yidden to serve Hashem. That is one way that the redemption is taking place. So the main thing is that I shall be redeemed. In order for me, for the Yidden, to have a better redemption, is that I know that the world outside is also serving the Eibishter. And the world is helping the Yidden serve the Eibishter. Another way we can explain the whole idea of redemption is that the redemption, the way it is from the world's perspective, is not only a detail in the Jewish people's Geula, rather they feel that they have their own portion of the Geula. And like the Rebbe brings in footnote 80 from Rashi says regarding the pasuk that also in the redemption from the other nations of the world, which means the Goyim feel that they have their own redemption, that they're getting their own attention from Hashem in the Geula. Hainu shebe'ilam kulei kol prat mimenu nirgash hakavana ha'eliyena bebriyasum ugolasim igama birav hazikach shalahem ki gam hei briyasim shalakadosh baruch hu. That means the whole world feels, every detail of the world feels. So why did the Eibishter create this being in the world? Each thing has its purpose. That the Eibishter made the nations of the world. They're not, Hashem had a purpose in creating them on their own. There's a certain purpose and a certain thing that needs to be accomplished with them being created. They're not only here for something else. They're not only a middle for something else, but rather Hashem made them for their own purpose. And when they will be, and in the redemption, they will fulfill their purpose in serving Hashem, because Hashem created them. Like the Rebbe brings in footnote 81 for Maimon Azal Megillah, that when the nations of the world were drowning in the water, my creations, things that I created, are being drowning, and you're praising, you're singing, which means, what's the emphasis over here? It's Hashem's creation. The Goyim, Hashem made the Goyim also. So there's a purpose in the Goyim on their own. Because they're Hashem's creation. Because they're Hashem's creation, there's a certain reason why they were created, and they need to fulfill their purpose. They have their own meaning why they were created. Sifches, Valpizi Yeshleimar, Shabahasim, Lishnei, Farim Eloim, Shnia, Purush Manal, Sifalv, Bilvakar called Bnei Sheis, Valder, Zabapir Shakosov, Pishnaim, Boyikars of Igvo, Vashlishis Utarbo, Sif Bays, Imashlish Kel Gamo Masail. According to these two ways, we explained what is redemption. Is the Geula of the Goyim just a outcome from the Yidden's Geula, just in order for me to have a better Geula, so the Goyim also need to be serving Hashem, or that they have a purpose why they were created, and they have their purpose that they need to fulfill in serving Hashem, and in the Geula they're going to reach their climax, their most complete level. According to these two ways, these two Pirushim, we can explain what's the two Pirushim of a Karkar called B'nai Sheis. Doesn't mean that Mashiach is going to destroy the whole world. Is Mashiach going to destroy all of B'nai Sheis? Or Mashiach is going to leave them. They're going to exist. Mashiach is just going to rule over them. What does it mean to destroy? It doesn't mean literally to destroy. It means that they won't have their own existence. They're only going to be a detail in the Jewish redemption. That means you're going to destroy the whole world. You're going to destroy the nations. Not that you're going to literally destroy them, but they're not going to have their own entity. According to other Pirush, that they will exist. He's just going to rule over. That means that the redemption is going to be for them on their own. They're going to have their own entity, and they're going to fulfill their purpose as a purpose why the Eibishter made their Goyim on their own, and they're going to fulfill their purpose of being created, and they're going to fulfill their purpose when Mashiach comes. So the Rebbe explains. According to the first way, that the redemption of the world, the whole world, even the nations of the world, is only a detail and for the redemption of the Jewish people. They don't exist on their own. They're only here for the Yidden. Yikorusu v'yikva, what comes out? That their existence on their own existence in the time of godless, they feel that they exist on their own. They're not dependent in someone else, in the Jewish people. In the Geula, it's going to be revealed that they have no existence. That their whole existence on their own doesn't exist. Their whole existence is this, that they exist for the Yidden. What does that mean? That their existence on their own will be erased. So what does it mean 2/3 of the world will be erased? What does it mean Moshiach is going to destroy the whole world? What does that mean? That the nations of the world are going to be destroyed to be in existence as their own, to be their own separate entity. Their whole entity will be for the Yidden. Not only that they won't exist as a nation as a whole, they won't even exist as private people. Their whole existence will be erased. Their whole existence is just going to be this, that they're slaves or workers of the Jewish people. We can say a simple example in halacha. Mitzius shel eved she'en lekol mitzius b'fnei atzmai. Ki kol ma she'kana eved kana rabbi, like we find by a slave. The whole idea of a slave is a slave. A eved has no existence. He has no separate entity. If a eved finds something and he picks something up, does it belong to the eved? No. Because kol masha kana eved kana rabbi, whatever the eved is, it belongs to the master. He doesn't exist. So too, according to this pirush, that there won't be any goyim when Mashiach comes. All the goyim will be erased. What does that mean? Their mitzias, their existence as a separate mitzias, as a separate entity, is going to be erased. Their whole existence is going to be this, that they are and workers of the Eden. So they won't exist. What does it mean? They're going to be erased. It won't be goyim when Mashiach comes. There won't be goyim as an existence, as their own. Their whole existence will be an entity of serving the Eden. ולפי האופן השני שיש חידוש ותכלס מיוחדס בבירור והזיכוך שלהם לא רק הפרט בגודל ישראל דמסר של עשת לוב ומצוסם לא תיזה באטל. But according to the second way we explained, that there is a special purpose and reason for making that the goyim, they themselves on their own should serve Hashem, comes out that their entity will not be bottled. They won't become nullified. They will have their own existence on their own as goyim. There's a purpose that goyim should serve Hashem. That them, the way they exist as their separate entity of goyim, should be serving the Eibishter. That's a certain climax and the purpose of the beater of the world. Fa'asbara zu hi apirish b'vakarka kol b'nei sheit shemashiach shelet b'chol b'nei anasha. According to this is the meaning of that Vakarikar Kol B'nei Sheis means that Mashiach will rule over the whole world. Mashiach will rule over all the type of people in the world. When is it shaykh to rule over someone? When someone exists, so you can rule over him. The nations of the world exist. They have the gather of their own mitzias. They exist. And therefore you can rule over them, and they will be serving the Eibishter the most complete way. According to Rabbi Yechanan, like we mentioned earlier in the first pirush of Rabbi Yechanan's opinion, he says, he says it doesn't fit for their master to say so to such creations. Because the Eibishter, that he's the master of the nations of the world, it doesn't fit to make that they shouldn't, it's not a good feeling to make that they shouldn't have the feeling, that they shouldn't feel the Geula. Which means the nations of the world are also included in the third that will continue to exist in the Geula. V'nimtza test, we're up to Sif test. V'nimtza shala halacha l'das Rambam b'al derech zeh b'teres achsidus mavur k'oifen ha'beis and iskeradil. It comes out that la halacha, and according to the Rambam, la halacha according to the Rambam, and also in Chassidus is explained according to the second opinion that the nations of the world will continue to exist as a separate entity. So according to the Rambam and according to Chassidus, the Goyim will there is a purpose in the creation of Goyim that they should serve the Eibishter and they will stay a separate existence. According to this is understood earlier what the Rambam emphasizes in several places, that the whole idea of the Geula is, and all the Inyanim of Lasid Lavai, is also for the Goyim on their own. The Rambam emphasizes that the Geula, in regards to Goyim, is not only that the Goyim will get leftovers, but he emphasizes the existence of the Goyim in the Geula. In all the places where the Rambam speaks about the Goyim in the Geula, he doesn't say that the Goyim are going to exist. He doesn't mention it as a detail in the Yidden's Geula. Rather, he mentions it that the Goyim will exist as a separate existence, a separate entity on their own. They will have their own separate Geula. The Rambam says Moshiach is going to fix the whole entire world to serve the Eibishter together, which means he's emphasizing that they will exist. They will have their own redemption, and they will serve the Eibishter the most complete way, because there's a purpose and a reason in their existence. If the Goyim wouldn't have their purpose and existence, he doesn't even mention what he's going to deal with the Goyim. Rather, no, Mashiach is going to deal with the Goyim, and he's going to make them serve the Eibishter because there's a reason why they were existed. The Rambam says that the Yidden will be sitting peacefully with the wicked nations of the world, and everyone will return to the true religion. They won't steal, they won't vandalize, everyone will eat only what they're allowed to eat with Yidden. He says the whole world will serve the Eibishter. The simple words of the Rambam. When he says the whole world will serve the Eibishter, what does he mean the whole world? Even the Goyim are going to serve the Eibishter. So the Rambam is emphasizing the existence of the nations of the world as a separate entity, and this separate entity will serve Hashem in the most complete way. This that the Rambam holds that the redemption is also going to be for the nations of the world as a separate entity. This is because the Rambam has a general opinion. The Rambam has a specific shitta on regards to nations of the world. What is the Rambam's opinion regarding nations of the world? Look what the Rambam says. Kosav Rambam. The Rambam writes in Achas Bara Allah and Parik Chas Allah Yid Aleph. Anyone that accepts upon himself the 7 laws that the Goyim need to get, and he makes sure he keeps them, he's considered a chassid from the nations of the world. A chassid. Chassid Shegoy. You have a chassid Shegoy. Chassid U'Mesaylam. And he has a part in the world to come. He has his own part in the world to come. He has his own chelik. This is if he's going to accept these mitzvahs, and he's going to do it because Hashem commanded to do so in his Torah. In the Torah sets a specific side and portion for the Goyim, that they have a part of Olam Haba. The Goyim have a part of the world to come if they keep the Shavah Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. Koleimar, Matan Torah Paul Ili Neisaf B'Zayin Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. Matan Torah made a new elevation in the 7 laws of Noach, even though Noach had these 7 laws from the beginning of the creation. Why is the Goy keeping Shavah Mitzvahs B'nai Noach? Not because the Eibishter told to Noach, because the Eibishter said in Matan Torah to Moshe Rabbeinu to give the goyim to keep Shabbat mitzvahs. In the Torah, the Yidden got, there's a special portion for goyim. Aleim nitztavu b'neinech melifnei zeh. So because Torah made a specific emphasis for Matan Torah on the nations of the world, on the mitzvahs for the nations of the world, and on the nation of the world, means that they have their own portion. They have their own schar for them on their own. So too is from the Alter Rebbe's words in Tanya. He says in Perek, in the end of Perek Lamed Vov, when the Rambam speaks about the Geula, the Rambam writes, "The Yisrael ha'oresh is Galil Yisrael Asad Lavi," from the plentiness, from the this that there's going to be a lot of light of the Eibishter that is going to shine then in the future redemption to the Yidden. It's going to be lightened up, the darkness, the choshech of the nations of the world will be lightened up. The goyim are sitting in the dark because the Eibusha is going to make so much light for the Yidden. He's going to make even more light, the extra light, especially for the goyim. Like it says, the nations of the world will go towards your light. It says the house of Yaakov shall go and see the light of Hashem. Not only, it says the whole world. It says it's going to be revealed the honor of Hashem, and every flesh, even the nations of the world, will see Hashem. It says they're going to go into the chisels, the chips parts, the holes in the stones. They're going to run and hide inside those stones because Hashem is going to be revealed from the fear of the revelation of God. Hashem should show himself with the niceness of his greatness on all unto the whole entire world. Everyone in the world should see Hashem's greatness. Which means the whole world is going to see Hashem. But this that the Alter Rebbe already writes earlier in the chapter that then the physicality of the world, of the body on the world, will be able to accept the revelation of Hashem's light that's going to be shined to the Jewish people through the Torah that's called Oz. So the Rambam already talks about the Yidden. So why does he need to mention also all of these psukim regarding the goyim? From this, that the Alter Rebbe says that the purity, the cleansingness, the zikuch of the physicality of the world, of the body and the world, this is noiger for the Yidden down here in order they should accept the light of Hashem. The world and the Jewish people needs to be worthy to accept it. They can't be coarse. They need to be mezukach. The Rambam doesn't just say that. The Alter Rebbe continues, that Alter Rebbe adds another thing. The Rambam adds, the Alter Rebbe adds that from the extra light of the Jewish people will be lighten up the darkness of the nation of the world. Why is he emphasizing this? He already says in order for the Yidden to accept the light of Hashem, you need the whole world to be elevated. So okay, so from this could be mashma that the goyim will be also much more edel, much more worthy, much more not as coarse, and they'll be able to accept the light of Hashem. And the Rambam doesn't know, the Alter Rebbe doesn't just say that, he adds that the nations of the world, the Eibusha is going to give us light to the nations of the world. What do we see from this? The Alter Rebbe is emphasizing that Hashem is going to light up the nations of the world. This is not a detail in the Jewish people's redemption, because the Eibusha is going to light to the Yidden, he's also going to light to the Goyim something small. No. The Alter Rebbe is emphasizing that Hashem is going to give a special light, specifically to the Goyim. This is a separate, important light that's going to be emphasized, especially for the nations of the world. So the Alter Rebbe emphasizes, even though that yes, the Alter Rebbe says that it's the leftovers from the this that Hashem is gonna light so much for the Yidden, it's gonna light up the nations of the world. True, the Eiked is the Yidden, because the Yidden and Hashem is one, and the main emphasis is Hashem's light for the Yidden. But nevertheless, the Eibishter will still light a special light from this light also to the nations of the world, and it's gonna cause the Goyim to fear God, to fear and know that their whole existence here is for Hashem. It's Hashem's existence, Hashem's creations, and therefore there's a purpose in them as a separate entity, as their own, because Hashem made them for their purpose, and Hashem will give them a special light for them. Okay, so that's Hashem. Tomorrow we're going to finish this Sikha. We want Moshiach now. Take it from Yad Mamish.